This example explains about the CSS property align content and its each possible values like flex start, flex end, center, stretch, space around, space between and space evenly. Body element is the root element of all visible contents. All the visible elements on the page appended inside the body element. Div is the building block of the page. It is used to create the small rectangular area on page, in which other elements like images, paragraphs, anchors, etc. can be displayed. It is the container element for other elements. Div is most important tag because nowadays most of the parts in the page is being built by div tag. Adding the parent container div along with 3 child items inside it. Adding first child element to the container div element. Adding second child element to the container div element. Adding third child element to the container div element. Style tag is used to define the style properties of the HTML elements. Instead of using inline styles, we can include style properties in style tags so that the complexity can be reduced in the document, such as duplicating the style properties and more style code in tag itself. Adding the common styles for all child div elements inside parent div with ID container. The min height property is used to set the minimum height of an element. It prevents the value of the height property from becoming lesser than the value specified for min height. Here the value is 100 px. Height of the element will not be less than 100 px even when assigning the lesser value in height property. Width is the style property which is changing width of element with 100 px. Adding the styles to the parent div element to make it as the flex container. The display property specifies how the div going to be displayed. Whether it is a block or flex container or table cell, etc. Here the value is flex. This value is used to make the div as the flex container. The CSS Flex Wrap property specifies whether flex items are forced into a single line or can be wrapped onto multiple lines. Here the value is wrap. Wrap is used to break the flex items into multiple lines. This block has the align content property with its each possible value. Please look at the preview to understand how the values are creating impact on the page. Flex end is one of the possible values to the align content property. Lines are packed towards the bottom of the flex container div. Flex start is one of the possible values to the align content property. Lines are packed towards the start of the flex container. center is one of the possible values to the align content property. Lines are packed toward the center of the flex container div. Space between is one of the possible values to the align content property. Lines are evenly distributed in the flex container. The spacing between each pair of adjacent lines is the same. Space around is one of the possible values to the align content property. Lines are evenly distributed in the flex container. The spacing between each pair of adjacent lines is the same. The empty space before the first and after the last line equals half of the space between each pair of adjacent lines. Space evenly is one of the possible values to the align content property. Lines are evenly distributed in the flex container. The spacing between each pair of adjacent lines, the main start edge and the first line, and the main end edge and the last line, are all exactly the same. Stretch is one of the possible values to the align content property. Lines stretch to use the remaining space. The free space is split equally between all the lines. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe the channel for more videos.